All right, it's time to admit something to you guys. I am a planner nerd. I am an obsessive, out of control list maker, and I have even been known to add something to my list that I have already done just so that I could check it off. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Today is Monday, March 30th. Actually, let me show you this. This is really cute. I love this part. And obviously April is in just a couple days, so I need to plan ahead for the second quarter of the year, and I also need to plan for Camp NaNoWriMo. And if you're a writer and you've never heard of Camp NaNoWriMo, I will link it below because it is amazing. Definitely go check it out. But the first thing that I'm gonna do, which I've already done, I gotta admit, is I'm gonna bring you guys this way, and you can see that I have this, I don't know what to call it, this bulletin board thing. And so I have March here, and I want to take down my monthly to-do list, and these are just random watercolors that I made, and sometimes I will make new ones, but if I don't have time, which I didn't, I will just use a random one that I already had. So this was actually an attempt at making a map for one of my books. You can see the lake here, and then this was the land, and I actually used a different one, and I just tossed this in my drawer. And so this month I made an April checklist. I'm gonna hang this up. Don't go anywhere. What are you doing? Don't run away. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn you. Okay, so these are my April goals. There's some carryover from March, and then there's some new things, and I'm gonna I'm gonna go into that in a second. But first I wanna explain my Kanban board. Let me take you over there. Okay, the lighting is super weird. I apologize, but I'm just gonna walk you through how this works. So the idea is to have a to-do section, which I keep on the top, and then a doing section, which is what I have in the middle here, and then a done section. So this is my first quarter of the year, and the very first time that I've ever tried a Kanban board. This is January, February, and March to-dos and done. So all credit for my setup goes to Sarah Cannon over on Heart Breathings, but what I got from her is that you have 3 categories. So I have, let me point the right way, books, Patreon, and YouTube. So I have goals for each of those, and then the idea is that you make smaller, more attainable goals underneath each one. And so the Kanban board, as far as I can tell, has kind of 2 main purposes. The first one is to help you focus. Everything that's on here is what you're doing, nothing else, okay? It's supposed to be that you figure out everything that you can feasibly do in those 3 months, and you don't add anything else to it until the next quarter. And secret time, I definitely broke that rule because I added a lot of stuff, especially to books. I added like the ebook rebranding, hardcovers. So yeah, I broke that rule. The second purpose of a Kanban board that I can tell is to keep you very, very focused on what you're doing that day. So the doing section, let's point right, is this right here. So let's zoom in. Okay, come with me. So right now, I am supposed to be editing beta feedback. I'm already messing this up too, you guys, because the goal here with these little Post-its is that it's supposed to be something that you can do in one day. So you're supposed to be able to pick a task, move it into doing for the day, and finish it by the end of the day and put it in the done category. And so this has been on here for like 2 weeks now, and it'll be on here for another week and a half until April 10th when I'm finished and I send my novel to my editor. Same thing with like the audiobook stuff where I have it hour by hour. And so even if I move hour 5 down here, which is hour 6, which is what's next, then I might be able to do like a 15-minute chunk, but I might not be able to do the whole hour if she hasn't finished all those chapters yet. And so I might be able to do 2 chapters, but it's only like a half hour, so I can't move it down into done. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having a task you can finish each day. And I'm even worse when it comes to Patreon and YouTube, because YouTube should be like plan video, film video, edit video, you know, do the thumbnails, do this, do that. And I just do this video. And then with Patreon, a good chunk of my Patreon to-dos are actually videos, so I don't like to waste paper and repeat, so I just don't put it here at all, and I just do the other things that are just Patreon. So obviously I don't use it right, and you guys are probably asking like, why do you do it then? Well, okay, listen, I might not follow this exactly, but it has helped me be way, way, way more focused, because number one, I do stop and look at this and go, do I really have space to add something new? And with the ebook rebranding and the hardcover, I did add it, but with a lot of other things, I said no. I looked at it and I said, you know what? It's not on my Kanban board. I don't have time for it. This is what I made time for this quarter, and if I can, I'll make time for it next quarter. And so that has really, really helped me. And it's also helped me to see, like you can see what's left. There's a lot of bookish stuff left. So I can see that I need to be more fair to myself when it comes to the bookish stuff and not pile so much on my plate. So it's helping me in those two ways already. But another way that it's helping me, believe it or not, is that it helps me to stay focused on what's in the doing section. So yes, I have been known to take too much from the top and put it in the doing section, and I've had to take stuff and put it back up here, which as you can see, there's a bunch up here that I wanted to get done that I haven't this month, and it's gonna move into next quarter. But having just this to focus on, it can help me to look at it and be like, okay, I need to calm down. I can't do all of it at once. I'm just doing this today. That has been amazingly helpful for my stress level. And last but not least, I also want to point out how much I have gotten done, you guys. Look at this, like so much. These are overlapping and there's so much there that I have gotten done. And so the last but not least way that this has helped me is actually to look back on all that I've gotten done, and I'm just like, so much less guilty. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel so much better about myself to be like, okay, yes, there's a lot that I haven't done, but look how much I did do. Like, that is really cool. So I'm super excited to reset this board now. I can only really picture as far as April, so I might totally abandon the whole quarter and not adding anything else and totally break the rules again, but I'm still gonna go for it because it really, really helps me. All right, so now what I have to do is I have to figure out, like, do I rearrange these, and then like, how do I add the ones that I've written so far? And then also, like, my brain just is not going past April right now. I cannot, it's like full stop, can't go past. And so I know that, again, I'm breaking the rules of the whole, like, you only put up here what you're gonna do when you plan it out in advance. But again, I'm doing it in the way that helps me, and so I'm just gonna go with it. And then if like I start to be able to add things, plan ahead, I'll do that later. But I looked at all of this and I still want to do everything here. So in case you guys are curious, what I did not get done was a couple video topics in particular. I just did other video topics, but I still know I want to do those. And then for Patreon, I had a cover reveal for book 3 and an audiobook excerpt reveal. And I kind of knew that those two probably wouldn't happen in April, but I put them up there just in case. So I know that those are coming soon on Patreon, probably this month if possible. And then I also want to update the resource library, which I do occasionally, and so that's just on there as like the next time. And then there's a lot of miscellaneous stuff in the books category, but you'll notice like this whole chunk is the marketing for authors book, and I did a lot for that book. I think I had less than 10,000 written, and now I have at least 23,000 written because my next goal is 24,000 words. So I just didn't get all the way through it, but I was definitely working on it and plugging away at it. And then I also have a bunch of audiobook chapters to listen to. This is gonna happen in the next quarter. All right, let's do a speed setup. All right, can you guys see that okay? I mean, you're obviously not gonna be able to read it, but there you go. So I feel like this is less, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I think part of it is due to, again, I can't think past April. I'm really, really struggling. Like, I know, for example, this one right here is a June 30th release for The Cursed Hunter, and I know I need to make a book release plan for that, but other than that, I literally can't picture it. Normally, I start my release plan about 3 months out, and like I have a video on that. I will link it below if you guys are curious, but I literally can't wrap my brain around it. So I know that I need to make a book release plan, and then once I do that, I'll probably be adding a billion other things to the book section and probably, you know, catering my videos around it because I like to bring you guys along in the process. But right now I only have videos for April up, and there's a bunch because, like you guys might have heard, I'm trying to do twice as many. We'll see if that happens. And then Patreon is also kind of thin because it's just all I can picture really is April, and I can't picture anything. So anyway, you can see that I've already moved stuff down into the doing categories, and there's a lot that I'm really, really excited about. So I have too much. I can already see that I've got too much here, and I need to move a couple things up and just do one thing at a time. Come on, Bethany, you think you learned by now. But before I end this video, I also want to show you my bullet journal where I created a little spread for Camp NaNoWriMo specifically. These are my Camp Nano goals, so it's gonna look really strange, but because Camp Nano is do whatever you want, I take that literally. I don't try to make myself just do one project when I have so many that I'm working on. And so I actually categorize them in 3 sections. So I know that it helps me to get really focused on one thing at a time. So April 1st through 10th, I'm gonna be doing The Cursed Hunter. I have 3 goals: finishing beta edits, which I have going, word cuts that I want to do, which I'm going to do a video on, and then a fast final read through where I just kind of read it all in a row and check if it actually makes sense. And so I'm going to keep this page here open for what I've completed and if I actually get it done. Then I have The Enchanted Crown, which is book 4 in the series. I should have mentioned this is book 3, this is book 4. I have a first draft, and so what I want to do through the 11th through 18th is do a fast read through edit, which is what I like to do of the first draft to kind of catch myself up because I haven't read it in a while and I don't really remember it. Then once I kind of get an idea of what I have so far, I want to finish finally writing the last 5,000 to 10,000 words. And I want to re-outline it because I got a feeling it's going to need a lot of work. So then I'm going to check if I complete that. I will write it here. Last but not least, I want to work on marketing for authors in the last week of April. So the 19th through the 25th. And you'll notice I left a few days extra as buffer days. So if any of these don't get done, well, not that one because I have to send it to my editor. But if any of, these 2 don't get done, I have a couple buffer days at the end of April that I can use for catching up. So I want to write the last 10 to 20,000 words. I'm not sure how many are left for this project. I try to give myself like a low end and a high end goal so I kind of know generally what to shoot for. And then once I have my first draft finally done, I want to review and edit it, kind of read it through and make sure it makes sense. And then I want to send it to Mandy so we can move forward on the Marketing for Authors series, which I have been keeping us back. And so then if I complete it, I will put that here. All right, so that's it. That's how I plan for Camp NaNoWriMo. That's how I plan for my month and my quarter in theory. Although, of course, again, I'm struggling this month. Let me know if you're struggling too, or if you have any tips to get around that not sure what's gonna happen feeling. I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling that, but if you are feeling it, just know you're not alone and it's okay. We're gonna be okay just planning a little bit more short term right now. There's nothing wrong with it. I hope this video was encouraging to you guys and I hope that you are as excited for NaNoWriMo as I am. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the heck I document this on the NaNoWriMo website, but one way or another, I am going to try my best to get 3 projects done. So wish me luck and I wish you guys the best. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, all that goodness, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Bye.